When you scroll through a sea of espresso machines, the glossy photos and promises of cafe-level shots can feel a little deceptive. You've probably bought a machine that looks sleek on the listing, only to discover the milk froth is more soupy than silky and the pressure gauge never quite matches the coffee you expected. That disappointment is why I wanted to make a video that actually walks you through what it's like to have a single group, stainless steel espresso machine with wood accents in a real kitchen, so you can avoid that costly misstep. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of person who ends up buying a machine like this. If you're the type who already knows the difference between a ristretto and a lungo, who enjoys pulling a shot and steaming milk for a latte at home at least a few times a week, and you're comfortable tweaking grind size and tamp pressure, this is the level of equipment that feels like a natural next step. It's also a fit for anyone who wants a machine that looks as good on the countertop as a piece of kitchen art. Those brushed stainless lines paired with dark wood trim can blend nicely with both modern and more traditional core. On the flip side, if your coffee ritual is limited to a pod machine or you only make an occasional espresso on the weekend, the extra effort and cost here may not pay off. The machine's single group means you can only pull one shot at a time, so if you regularly make 2 drinks back to back, you'll end up waiting for the boiler to recover between pulls. And if you're not ready to learn the nuances of pressure management, the dual pressure gauges, while stylish, could become a source of confusion rather than a helpful tool. Now, let's dig into what actually happens when you plug this thing in. The first thing you notice is the weight. The stainless steel housing, reinforced with internal brass components, feels solid, no wobble on the countertop, which is a relief because you don't want the machine shifting while you're tamping. The wood accents on the front panel are more than just a visual flourish, they act as a heat buffer, so the exterior stays cooler to the touch even after a half hour of steaming. In practice, that means you can reach over to grab a mug without worrying about scorching your fingers. The heating system is a single boiler that reaches about 9 bar of pressure, which is the sweet spot for extracting espresso. What matters more than the number is how consistent that pressure stays during a shot. In daily use, the built-in pressure gauge gives you a quick visual cue. When you pull the lever, the needle climbs to the target zone and steadies. I've found that after the first 10 minutes of warm-up, the pressure holds steady for at least 20 consecutive pulls, which is enough for a small household that might be making 2 cappuccinos and a macchiato in a row. Steam performance is where many home machines fall short, but the included steam wand holds its own. It produces enough steam to texture milk for a latte art heart in under 30 seconds, assuming you're using whole milk. The wand's tip is detachable for easy cleaning, a small but welcome detail because milk residue can build up quickly and affect taste. However, if you prefer alternative milks like oat or almond, you'll notice that they require a bit more patience. The steam temperature doesn't stay as consistent, so you might need to purge the wand a few extra times to avoid overheating the milk and creating a grainy texture. One hidden trade-off that shows up after a few weeks is the water reservoir size. It holds about 1.5 liters, which is fine for a morning routine but can become a nuisance if you're entertaining guests. Refilling the tank mid-session interrupts the workflow, and because the machine sits on a stainless base, there's no built-in drip tray that catches overflow when you top it off. I've had to place a small tray underneath to keep the countertop tidy. Another practical consideration is the learning curve around temperature stability. The machine doesn't have a PID controller, so you're relying on the boiler's built-in thermostat. In most cases, the temperature stabilizes quickly, but if you switch from brewing to steaming frequently, you might notice a slight dip in brew temperature after the first few shots. For a casual user, this dip isn't dramatic, but for a coffee enthusiast chasing that perfect espresso profile, it can be a subtle but noticeable shift. Cleaning and maintenance are often glossed over in marketing copy, but they're essential for longevity. The drip tray is removable, and the brew group can be unscrewed without special tools, which makes routine backflushing manageable. The wood accents, though beautiful, require a gentle wipe with a dry cloth. You'll want to avoid harsh chemicals that could dull the finish. The machine also comes with a recommended descaling schedule once a month if you have hard water. Skipping this.